Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking at something, well, truly strange. An organism that kind of defies easy labels.
It really does.
It's older than the dinosaurs, apparently, and it gives us proof, maybe, that you don't actually need a brain to be smart.
Or at least very, very good at problem solving.
So yeah, today we're doing a deep dive into the pretty paradoxical world of the slime mold.
Yeah, and paradoxical is the right word. I mean, right from the start, what is it? It's not a plant,
Okay.
not an animal.
Yeah.
And despite the name, it's not even a fungus, technically. It's an amoeba.
A single-cell amoeba that crawls.
It's exactly, a single-celled organism that can move.
Yeah.
And our mission really is to figure out how this creeping goo shows such sophisticated behavior, intelligence even.
And you find these things, well, basically everywhere. They're ancient, like really ancient. Fossil records show them hundreds of millions of years back.
Mhm.
And there are about 1,000 species known. Huge range of colors, too. White, pink.
Yeah, bright yellows, oranges, they're all over the globe. They do like warm, damp spots, forest floors.
Eating bacteria and stuff.
Yeah, bacteria, yeast, fungi. But like you said, they're adaptable. Some live in deserts, some even thrive down in Antarctica.
Wow. Okay, so they're tough survivors.
Yeah.
Global travelers.
Absolutely. Which, tells you something about their survival strategy right there.
Before we get into the biology bit, the classification, we have to talk about the names people give them. Some are pretty descriptive.
They definitely make an impression, let's put it that way. If you stumble across one, you kind of get why people have called them things like, well, living creepies.
Living creepies.
Or demon droppings, rotting mucus.
Oh, lovely. And the classic one, especially for those bright yellow ones you see on mulch sometimes.
Yes, dog vomit.
It just paints such a picture, doesn't it? It sets a certain squishy tone.
It really does.
Okay, so let's try and pin this down. Slime mold is sort of an umbrella term. Sources split them mainly into two types, cellular and plasmodial.
That's right. Cellular slime molds are, well, think of them as part-time collaborators. They're usually microscopic, living life as single cells.
Okay.
But if one finds food, it sends out like a chemical signal. Hey, dinner over here.
Right.
And others nearby will respond. They'll clump together into a mass to move towards the food and eat. But, this is key, each one stays a distinct single cell. They cooperate, but they don't merge.
Gotcha. But the other kinds, the plasmodial or true slime molds,
Yeah.
that's where it gets really wild.
Absolutely. This is where the magic happens, biologically speaking. These are the ones you can often see without a microscope, sometimes, growing quite large, like dinner plate size.
Wow.
And when these individuals aggregate, they form something called a plasmodium. Researchers sometimes call it a supercell.
A supercell. Why super?
Because they actually fuse. When they come together, the cell walls between the individual amoebas dissolve. Gone.
So they become one single entity.
One single giant cell membrane enclosing thousands, maybe millions, of individual nuclei, all swimming in the same cytoplasm. They all operate together like one massive distributed brain, almost.
All the information, all the nuclei acting as one information center.
Precisely. Imagine merging, I don't know, an entire company's workforce into a single consciousness. That's kind of the vibe.
And the famous one is that bright yellow one.
Right. Physarum polycephalum, the highlighter yellow one. Its name even translates to many-headed slime.
That makes sense. Many-headed because of all the nuclei working together.
Exactly. Reflecting that unified operation.
Okay, so you've got this giant single-celled many-nuclei blob. How does this goo actually move? How does it crawl across the forest floor?
It's a really unique system. It's kind of hydraulic. The whole mass is threaded with channels, like tiny veins.
Veins.
Yeah, and these veins are filled with this jelly-like stuff, protoplasm. Now, wrapped around these veins are these long, fine protein strands. Think of them like tiny muscles.
Okay, so muscles around the veins.
And these protein strands squeeze and relax. Squeeze, relax in these rhythmic pulses.
Ah, so they're pumping the jelly.
Exactly. They're pumping the protoplasm forward, forcing it through the channels. It's like this internal pulsating hydraulic engine pushing the whole mass along.
It sounds quite active, but I read the speed isn't exactly lightning fast.
No, definitely not. Physarum polycephalum at room temperature might manage about 1 centimeter an hour. So, yeah, pretty slow.
But that movement, that slow, relentless pulsing and oozing, that's what inspired that old horror movie, right?
The Blob. Yes, the 1958 classic. You can see why, right?
Mm.
This growing, seemingly single-minded mass just flowing over things. It has a certain unsettling quality.
Definitely. And it's not just random oozing, is it? It's directed. It has senses.
Well, not senses like we have, obviously. No eyes, no ears, no nose.
Yeah.
But it has receptor zones on its surface. It can detect chemicals, so it can smell food.
Okay.
It can detect light. It generally prefers the dark. It can sense moisture levels, pH levels in the soil.
So it can sort of see or feel its way towards good conditions and away from bad ones?
Precisely. The direction of that pulsing, that protoplasm flow, it's a direct response to those signals. It steers itself.
Okay, this is already pretty impressive for, well, goo. But let's shift gears from the how it moves to the why, the behavior. Because this is where it apparently gets really smart.
Right. This is the mind-bending part. No brain, no nerves, yet it shows problem-solving skills that researchers found, and I quote, much more intelligently than ever expected.
Much more intelligently. Okay, how? What's the evidence?
Well, the classic example, the one that really turned heads, is the Tokyo subway experiment.
Ah, yes, I read about this. Tell us about the setup. They used oats.
Oats, yeah. Apparently slime molds, or physarum anyway, go crazy for oats. So researchers placed oat flakes on this agar plate.
Like a petri dish.
Exactly. And they placed the oats in the exact positions of the major train stations in and around Tokyo. A map made of oats.
Okay, so the slime mold is in the middle, and the stations are food sources. What were they trying to see?
Could it create the most efficient network to connect all those food sources?
All right.
Could this brainless amoeba design a transport system?
And the result?
It was stunning. After it spread out and found all the oats, the network of protoplasmic tubes it formed, it almost perfectly mirrored the actual Tokyo railway system.
Wow.
Which, is renowned as one of the most efficient and intelligently designed transit networks in the world, developed by teams of engineers over decades.
Decades of human engineering. And the slime mold did it.
In about a day.
A single day. That's incredible. How does it optimize like that?
It's this amazing process of exploration and reinforcement.
Yeah.
First, it just fans out everywhere, exploring all possible paths. Little tendrils go in all directions.
Okay.
When tendrils find food sources, the oats, the slime mold strengthens those connections. More protoplasm flows down those tubes, making them thicker and more robust.
Right, reinforcing the good routes.
Exactly. But here's the really clever bit. It doesn't just strengthen the good routes, it actively dismantles the inefficient ones. Yeah. If a pathway is redundant or takes a longer route between two food sources, the slime mold stops pumping protoplasm through it. It lets those connections wither and dry up.
So it prunes itself. It streamlines the network for maximum efficiency and minimum energy use.
Precisely. It's adaptive optimization in its purest form. Exploring, reinforcing the good, eliminating the bad. That's intelligent design, isn't it? Even without a designer.
Okay, but hang on. How do we know it's not just, physics, like water finding the easiest path downhill? Is it really thinking or just reacting?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And that's where other experiments come in, showing things that look a lot like learning and even anticipation.
Anticipation. How can goo anticipate the future? Tell me about that study.
Right. So researchers set up a predictable stress schedule. They exposed the slime mold to unfavorable conditions, like a blast of cold, dry air at regular intervals, say every hour on the hour.
Okay, predictable stress. What happened?
Well, as you'd expect, when the cold, dry air hit, the slime mold slowed its growth, hunkered down a bit.
Makes sense.
But the critical finding was this. After a few cycles, the slime mold started slowing down before the blast of cold air even arrived.
Before it knew it was coming.
It seemed to. It learned the pattern. It anticipated the regular stressor and took protective measures proactively just before the hour mark.
Wow. So it didn't just react to the cold, it learned the timing and prepared for it.
Exactly. That suggests some kind of internal clock or memory of the interval. It's not just simple reaction, it's learned anticipation, adapting its behavior based on past experience to predict the near future. That's way beyond simple physics.
That really is a level of intelligence you just wouldn't expect, protecting itself before the hit comes.
It's a smart survival move. Conserves resources, minimizes shock.
Okay, so it can optimize networks, it can anticipate regular events. What about learning to overcome things it doesn't like? I read about a salt bridge.
Ah, yes, the salt bridge experiment, another fascinating one. So slime molds, they really dislike salt. It doesn't hurt them, but they find it unpleasant, they avoid it. So the researchers put a barrier of salt across the slime mold's path, like a little bridge it had to cross to get to. You guessed it.
More oats.
More oats. The tasty reward on the other side.
So forcing it to choose Face the unpleasantness or go hungry. What did it do?
Well, initially, it hesitated. Big time. A journey across the agar that should have taken maybe an hour took like 10 hours the first time. It really didn't want to cross that salt.
10 hours, just to cross a little salt bridge.
Yeah. But here's the learning part. They repeated the experiment with the same slime mold day after day.
Yeah.
Each day, it got faster. It spent less time hesitating at the salt bridge.
It got used to it.
Exactly. After a few days, it was cruising across that salt bridge in about an hour, the normal time. As the researchers put it, as if it wasn't even there. It learned that the slip wasn't actually harmful, and the oat reward was worth the temporary discomfort.
It learned to overcome its aversion. That's learned behavior modification.
Absolutely. But then they took it even further. This is where it gets into almost teaching.
Teaching. How can a slime mold teach?
Well, they took this salt-experienced slime mold, the one that had learned to cross the bridge quickly, and they allowed it to fuse with a completely naive slime mold, one that had never encountered this salt bridge before.
Okay, so they merged into one supercell. Experienced meets naive.
Right. Remember how the protoplasm flows between them when they fuse?
Yeah, the internal fluid sharing.
So within just a few hours of fusing, the entire combined blob, including the parts that were originally naive, could cross the salt bridge without hesitation.
Whoa. The experienced one somehow transferred its knowledge.
It appears so. The theory is that the chemical information, whatever molecular change represented the learned tolerance to salt, was physically transferred through the shared protoplasm. The experienced part literally informed the naive part.
So it's like teaching via chemical download through the shared goo.
Kind of, yeah. A remarkable form of information transfer in an organism with no brain or nerves. It shared its learned adaptation.
That's just astounding. And this intelligence, this adaptability, it also plays out on a huge scale, right? Their global survival strategy.
Oh, definitely. We mentioned they're global travelers. How
Right.
do they manage that? Spores.
Like mushrooms.
Very similar idea.
Yeah.
When conditions are right, or maybe when they're stressed, slime molds will produce these things called fruiting bodies. They often look like tiny stalks with little balls on top.
Okay.
And these fruiting bodies release spores, millions of them, tiny and lightweight, that get carried away by wind, water, maybe even hitch rides on animals.
And these spores can travel far.
Incredibly far. Get this. Scientists have found genetically identical slime molds, the exact same individual organism, genetically speaking,
Yeah.
in places like New Zealand and the United States.
Wait, New Zealand and the U.S., that's thousands of kilometers apart? Over
Okay.
14,000 kilometers?
Exactly. A spore somehow made that journey across the Pacific Ocean, landed, germinated, and started a new colony that was genetically the same as the one back where it started.
That's mind-blowing. So they can basically colonize the entire planet.
It's an extremely smart way, as one source put it, to ensure the species survives. If things get bad in one place, chances are a spore has already set up shop somewhere else, potentially halfway around the world. Talk about hedging your bets.
They don't just solve local problems like finding food or crossing salt. They solve the ultimate problem, long-term global survival.
It really seems that way. Their strategies operate on multiple levels, from optimizing a path to food right now to ensuring genetic continuity across continents over millennia.
So let's just recap for everyone listening. We've looked at this organism, no brain, basically a single giant crawling cell
The supercell, yeah.
that can map complex networks better than some engineers, apparently. It can anticipate regular future events. It learns to overcome things it dislikes.
And it can even teach or transfer that learning to others it fuses with.
Through shared goo, no less. And it has a strategy for world domination, essentially, through its spores.
Well, maybe not domination, but certainly persistence.
Right. Persistence on a global scale. So, thinking about the big picture here, what does the intelligence or the intelligent behavior of something like Physerum polycephalum tell us about intelligence itself?
I think it forces us to broaden our definition, doesn't it? We tend to equate intelligence with brains, with neurons, with complex nervous systems.
Yeah.
But here we have efficiency, learning, memory, anticipation, problem solving, even information sharing, all happening in a decentralized network within a single cell membrane using chemical signals and protoplasmic flow. It suggests intelligence might be a more fundamental property of life, maybe, something that can emerge from biological systems.
So maybe intelligence isn't just about having a brain, but about how effectively a system processes information and adapts to its environment regardless of the hardware.
That's certainly one way to look at it. Especially in a world like ours, increasingly overwhelmed by information, maybe there are lessons in how this simple organism manages complexity so effectively.
That's definitely something to chew on. So next time you feel like calling someone a brainless amoeba,
You might actually be paying them a compliment.
you might indeed, complimenting their efficiency and problem-solving skills. Something to mull over until our next deep dive.
See you next time.